Welcome to the Martin Audio rigging tutorial for the TORUS constant curvature series. In this video we're going to look at the ground stack rigging procedure for the largest member in our constant curvature series, TORUS T12. TORUS T12 can be supplemented by Martin Audio SX subwoofers and is designed to integrate mechanically with the SX-CF118 cardioid subwoofer in flown and ground stack configurations. To begin ground stacking TORUS T12, position your SX-CF118 cardioid subwoofers ready to be stacked on your stage or structure. When stacking from the ground, it is advisable to utilise 3 SX-CF118 cardioid subwoofers to guarantee that the array reaches an adequate height, thereby ensuring that it is directed at the listener's ear level. Safely lift the first SX-CF118 subwoofer onto your stage or structure, ensuring it is level, ready for the next subwoofer to be stacked above. Carefully lift and position the second subwoofer, making sure the skid panels align to secure subwoofers together. SX-CF118 subwoofers have 4 rigging points found on each corner of the cabinet. Remove the flying pin from its stow position on the bottom subwoofer. Rotate the front link arm for 180 degrees to line up with a pinhole on the front rigging position, inserting the rigging pin into the cabinet above to secure. To connect the rear position, remove the pin from the cabinet. Rotate the link arm up for 180 degrees, inserting the pin into position on the cabinet above to secure. Please ensure all 4 rigging pins are connected on all corners before continuing. When ground stacking TORUS T12 with SX-CF118 subwoofers, you will require the use of the GS-Rig 1530 ground stack frame accessory. Remove the first cabinet from the flight case and rest on a surface ready to be connected to the GS-Rig 1530. When the cabinet is mounted in landscape, there are M10 threaded pole mounts in the top or bottom of each cabinet, along with locating pins to ensure correct and stable connection to the frame. Determine the required orientation and connect the GS-Rig to either the top or bottom M10 cabinet mount, allowing the HF horn to be positioned either to the left or right based on the deployment required. Connect the GS-Rig 1530 to the first cabinet of your T12 array, please align the ground stack frame's locating pins onto the cabinet's mounting position. Remove the M10 handwheel located on the stowing plate. Locate the M10 handwheel into position and screw into the mounting plate of the T12 cabinet through the hole to the top mounting plate of the GS-Rig 1530, ensuring the handwheel is tightened securely. Carefully place the loudspeaker and frame onto the subwoofer. Position so the slot of the frame is above the M20 pole mount hole, ensuring the T12 cabinet and subwoofer are aligned grill to grill. Remove the M20 handwheel from the stowing plate and secure to the M20 pole mount through the hole on the base plate of the GS-Rig 1530, ensuring the handwheel is tightened securely. To connect the next T12 cabinet, lift the box from both sides onto the back of the subwoofer. Lift and place into the skids on top of the cabinet below, ensuring the high frequency horn orientation matches. TORUS T12 consists of a single point rigging system located on either side of the cabinet. All hardware is captive and can be stored conveniently for transportation. Remove the rigging pins on either side of the cabinet, rotating the links into position into the adjacent cabinet. Replace the rigging pin on both sides of the cabinet to secure. The angle of the GS-Rig 1530 can be adjusted easily by removing the rigging pin on both sides of the frame side plate. Lift the rear of the array to the aim angle needed, replacing the rigging pins into the required angle position on both sides to lock in place. The GS-Rig 1530 can achieve variable array angles from -15 to -30 degrees in 2.5 degree increments. Each TORUS cabinet features 2 NL4 connections with a bi-wide passive configuration, offering the option of receiving the signal from either pins +or-1 or +or-2. You can select the required circuit for the individual or groups of cabinets at a flip of a switch based on your box resolution via the rear mounted bypass switch, allowing for simplified wiring using a 4-core speaker cable. TORUS T12 constant curvature arrays are designed based on coverage requirements. T12 can be ground stacked with up to 3 cabinets above using the GS-Rig 1530 ground stack frame. Any Martin Audio subwoofer with an M20 pole mount can be used with this accessory. Fixed angle arrays can be deployed in vertical configurations consisting of 15 or 30 degree cabinets. Depending on cabinet orientation, we then have the option to choose our dynamic horn flare dispersion. By accessing the horn flare from the front grille, we can create symmetrical 60 degree or symmetrical 90 degree dispersions, or asymmetric 75 degrees in either direction. De-rigging an array is simply a reverse of the process from before. Disconnect the rigging pins on either side of the T12 cabinet, rotate the link arms back into the stow position and replace the captive rigging pins back in their stow hole within the cabinet. Lift the top cabinet down onto the back of the subwoofer, safely lift the cabinet off and place back into its flight case. Unscrew the M10 pole mount from between the bottom of the T12 cabinet and the mounting plate of the GS-Rig 1530. Replace the M10 screw back into the stowing plate of the ground stack frame. Safely lift off the last cabinet of the GS-Rig 1530 and place back in its flight case. Unscrew the M20 pole mount from between the mounting plate and the subwoofer. Replace the M20 handwheel back into the stowing plate of the ground stack frame. Place the GS-Rig 1530 away, ready for transportation. Disconnect both rigging pins from the front positions between the SX-CF 118 subwoofers. Rotate the front link down for 180 degrees to the bottom subwoofer, ensuring the rigging pin is placed in front of the link arm back into their stow positions. Remove both rigging pins from the rear positions between the subwoofers. Ensure all 4 rigging pins are in their stow position. Safely lift and place the SX-CF 118 subwoofers back onto their wheels, ready for transportation.